sure to check out Agelessgeeks for your figures and collectibles. So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Neca Toys God of War 2-pack Kratos and Atreus. So let's get into it right away and take a quick look at this awesome looking box. So we do get a very nice and collector friendly style box for this father and son 2-pack. So on the front of the box here, it is replicating some wooden doors, which I'm guessing is something from the game, and it does look really nice. On the top says Kratos and Atreus God of War Ultimate Action Figure 2-pack. Then on the top here we do get the PlayStation official licensed product, and then the doors you could actually open. They're just velcroed, as you can see right there, and then once you open it we do get the window displaying both the figures along with all of the accessories, looking great right there. And then we do have an image of the figure on the left of Kratos along with a little bio, so if you would like to read that, you can pause it right now and give it a read. And then on the other side here we do get an image of his son, Boy, along with a little bio, so if you would like to read that, you can pause that as well and read it on up also. And then you could just close the doors here just like they were actual doors. And then the bottom of the box here we do get the barcode and blah 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 stuff nobody cares about. Then it does have some like directions on how to use some of Kratos's accessories. Then here is the top of the box with the warning and blah 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 stuff right there. And then the one side of the box does have an image of Kratos along with his features like the accessories and articulation, and he does have a lot of cool stuff, as you can see there. Then the other side we do get an image of his son Boy, and it does have his features, which is the articulation and his accessories as well. Then the back of the box does show a bunch of really cool poses you can get this father and son duo into, along with some of their accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this 2-pack open and take a closer look at the God of War and his son Boy. And before we continue with the review, just need to give a big shout out and thank you to toynewsi for sending me this set to review. So be sure to check out toynewsi.com or forums.toynewsi.com to be up to date with figure news and everything action figure related. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and we'll take a look at Boy first. And these figures are fantastic. There is some issues though. There is stuck joints, mainly with Atreus here. Kratos I don't think had any stuck joints, but I still can't get the left bicep swivel to swivel. I got the right one unstuck. And another issue is the pin in the lower part of the elbow joint wasn't fully connected with the arm, so I did have to heat that up and push it in, and I was able to fix it there. So a couple QC issues, but something that wasn't unfixable. But the face sculpt here for Atreus is very creepy looking. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought he was like the creepy kid from Pet Sematary, because that kid scared the hell out of me when I was a kid and saw that movie. But he does have a very creepy looking face. It looks like he has scars. I don't know what that's from. Like I said, I never played the game in my unboxing video. The eyes seem to be painted pretty good. They're not perfect, but they're good enough. And the hair looks great. They missed a little bit of paint right above the right ear there, but we get some nice shading all throughout it. The sculpt of it looks great and everything too. And then the torso here, he's wearing some nice fur vest looking thing, which looks really good. The sculpt and the paint look fantastic. He has a few straps going on there. One is for the quiver. We have some belts going on around here as well. Then the arms turned out pretty good. We get some wrappings around it. We get some nice sculpt, like some sculpted wrinkles on his sleeves and everything. And then he does have the bow and arrow armband right there as well, along with on his hands. And then the lower portion here, we do have a little sheath, and then we do have a little pouch right here. I don't know what's in that, but he does come with a knife for the sheath there. And this is a softer, rubbery type plastic. It could hinder the articulation, but it doesn't really hinder it too much. But very nice sculpt and paint all throughout it. I love how you can see like the stitching over there. It's kind of all worn and tethered and stuff too. And then his pants has some nice sculpted wrinkles throughout it. It looks like there's a subtle like wash or shading on it. And then the lower legs here has a bunch of like ropes going around the lower legs, which looks really cool. The sculpt of him turned out pretty nice, and the paint's pretty clean for the most part in the ropes. And then we do have a nice like sculpted texture on his little slippers there, and on the bottom of them not too much going on. So Atreus I think turned out really nice, but definitely not the star of the pack. He's kind of like an added bonus. The star of the pack is definitely Kratos here, and my god, I cannot be any more impressed with this freaking figure here. This is such a awesome figure, and I see why people were saying Neca's God of War Kratos figures are great figures, because they really are. The face sculpt looks great. We have a scar going over his right eye. I don't know if that's like a scar or a tattoo or something, the red right there, but that looks great. It has like a little pink on the outside of the red, which looks pretty cool. We do get that very pale skin tone that he has, with a nice like wash, pinkish wash going all throughout it. The beard looks great. Very cool looking head sculpt there. And then the torso here, we do get this kind of strap going across the torso there, which looks beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite parts about the figure. I just love the way the buckle looks, the strap, the armor up here looks pretty cool. And then the stitching looks great. And the torso turned out really good too. We have that scar right on the midsection. Muscle definition looks good and everything. We get the red line once again going over the torso, and then we have the line from the head going down his back as well. We have the holster for the dope axe. Then we do get like some fur on there, which looks really cool. Really dig the way this figure looks, man. Then the arms turned out pretty cool too. As you see, they connected this piece of armor on the arm, so it's not going to hinder too much arm articulation, which his arm articulation gets hindered a little bit, but this is a separate piece, so you can kind of move it a little bit when you articulate the figure. Then we do have these chain gauntlets that just look sick as hell, man. The paint's not perfect on the chains, but I mean, it's good enough, you know. And then the other arm, we do get that red line that's continuing from his torso around the shoulder. And he has like a cool texture to his skin as well. I didn't notice that until just now. And then we have the chain gauntlet on this side. Then we do have his shield where it's not ready for battle. Right here, it's a separate piece that you peg in, which we'll go over later. And I did have an issue with Kratos. His left wrist joint did break on me. I just contacted Neca, and I'm pretty sure they're going to send a replacement. I just have it attached with sticky tack as of right now. And then the lower portion here, we do have a loincloth type thing, but all the buckles and the belts and everything look so awesome. And it is a very soft, rubbery type plastic. I like these red pieces. Those look pretty cool. And we get some beautiful, like a wash and shading all throughout it. I love the stitching all on this piece here. And then we do get, I forgot his name, Amir. I don't know, I didn't play the game, but we do have his head right here. I know that Kratos did chop his head off and took it as a trophy. I think he's supposed to bring it to someone. I don't know, I never played the game. We do have a sheath, a pouch, another pouch, and those look great. The back of this piece looks pretty cool too. I like the way the sheath looks there. And then for the legs here, we get some nice sculpted wrinkles throughout the pants and a nice like wash all throughout it. And then the lower legs, we do get his boots, which look great. These brown pieces have a nice like tethered look to it, and it does have a very subtle wash in it as well. We get some straps going around the lower legs, and we have a nice texture to his boot, which looks pretty cool. And then the feet, very nice sculpt all throughout it actually. Kind of looks like leather. And then the bottom of them, not too much going on besides some pickles, but overall, I can't be any more impressed with how this 2-pack turned out, especially Kratos. These are two amazing figures, especially the God of War here, but I can't be any more happy with how the paint sculpt turned out. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, you get a ton of awesomeness included with both these figures, and this is definitely the high point to the set, everything that is included here. So we'll start off with Atreus' accessories first, and when you get with him, you do get his bow here, which turned out pretty good. They just used a string. I feel like they should have used elastic so you could actually have him pull it back. It goes back about that much, but I mean the sculpted paint looks pretty good on the bow there, and he does grip onto it perfectly fine. So you do get that, and then you do get 4 individual arrows here, and the paint of them look really clean all throughout them, and you could store those in his quiver. Then finally for his weapons, you do get his knife, which turned out pretty good too, and you can store this in his sheath, and I'll show you how to store that with the arrows right now. And the way you sheath his knife and holster his arrows in the quiver, now for the arrows, I just bundle them together and then just put them in the quiver like so. Then you take his knife here and you just slide it right in the sheath, and there you go, as simple as that. So we do get that stuff, and then we also get, and now for Kratos, pretty much everything is mainly for him. So what you do get with him, you do get 2 interchangeable heads. And starting on the left, we do get the basic stern face, which is the one that comes on the figure out of the packaging. Then on the right, we do get my favorite, which is the crazy yelling, screaming face, and they did an excellent job with the detail on both faces there. The only issue is they are very difficult to swap out, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And the way you swap Kratos' heads, like I said, it's very difficult to do. The basic stern face is simple since it was already on the joint, but the peg hole is a little small on the yelling screaming face. So what I did is I heat up the joint with hot water, and then I swapped the head on. So all you do is just pull up under the beard to take it off, and to get the new head on, you just gotta push down on his bald head to get it on there. As simple as that. But like I said, heat up the other head if you can't get it on with ease. It'll go on very easily if you heat it up. So we do get the interchangeable heads, and then we also get his knife, his axe, and some effects. And his knife looks pretty damn cool. I dig the paint on the blade right there. I like how it fades, like by the sharp edge it's more like brighter, and then the more dull edge, it gets darker, the paint. Dig the way that looks, and the handle looks pretty cool too. And you can put that in his sheath. And then you do get his axe. I don't know the exact name of it, but this is probably my favorite accessory. I just love the way the axe looks. Beautiful sculpt and paint all throughout that. Very cool looking. The handle turned out pretty cool too. You have like this design going on through it, and then there's the wrappings around the handle. And you can store this on the back of Kratos, which I'll show you shortly. Then you do get this effect, which is for the axe, and it is a very soft rubbery type plastic, and it's supposed to be like a ice flame axe or something like that, and I guess that's what this is here. And you get some nice white paint in the front where the sharp edge of the axe is. Then the further it goes back, it just blends into a blue color, as you can see right there. And the way you get this on is very simple. So you just lift that up, put the sharp edge of the axe in there, move that out, put that around the back part of the axe, and then there you go. As simple as that. And that is a very cool effect, probably my favorite effect out of all the effects. So we do get that effect for the axe. Then we do get the two fist effects here, and I love the orange translucent plastic, and the sculpt of them just look really cool too. And they are soft rubbery type plastic, and you just get these on his fists, which I'll show you shortly. And then this one here is for the swords. This one looks pretty cool too. Very nice sculpt all throughout it, and I'll show you how to put that on the sword in a second. And the way you sheath the knife and holster his axe. Now for the axe here, you have this little hook type piece, and all you do is just put the axe on it like that, as simple as that. Then we do have his sheath down there, and that is pretty simple to do. Just slide the blade in there, and then there you go. That's how you holster the axe and his knife. Now the way you get the flame effects on for the fists here, as you can see like the fist indent on the end right there. So all you do is just put that on like so, and then same with this side over here, just put that on, and then there you go, as simple as that. Now for the flame effect for his sword here, I believe it goes on like that, and then there you go. That's how you get all the flame effects on. So we do get that stuff, and then we also get the Guardian Shield, the collapsed shield. Then we do get the Blades of Chaos, and then the upgraded chained Blades of Chaos. So for the shields here, we do have the collapsed one, and it has some beautiful sculpt and paint on it, and this just pegs into his left forearm, as you can see the peg right there. I'll show you how to get that on shortly. So we do get that one. Then we do get the Guardian Shield, I believe it's called, and this is the same one you got with the other old man Kratos, but beautiful sculpt and paint on that. I really dig the way that looks. You get a nice wash all throughout it, and then the underside here, you get some nice red paint all throughout it as well. And this you just peg onto his forearm. Also, I'll show you how to get that on as well. So we do get the shields, then we do get the Blades of Chaos. So we do have the regular ones here, and then we do have the upgraded chained ones. So the regular ones look pretty cool. I mean, the blade looks great. It has like a very worn type look to it. It is a little sharp, so be careful of that, but I love the way this piece looks. I guess that's the cross guard. Kind of looks like a skull. Really like the way that looks. And the handle looks alright. So we do have the regular ones, and then we do have the chained ones here, which are definitely my favorite out of the two swords. I love the way the blade looks. That silver paint looks great, and I love like that design on it. And then even this piece looks cool too. Looks like an upgraded one compared to the regular one. I love the way the handle looks also. Then we do get the chain on it, but on this chain, it came out of the packaging in a knot right there, and all you do is just peg these in on his wrist, which I will show you how to do right now. And the way you get on the shield and the collapsed shield on his left forearm is fairly simple. I find the collapsed shield a lot easier to get on. So you have the wide peg hole right there, just line up the peg that in, there you go, as simple as that. Now the actual shield, I find it a bit more difficult to get on. Just line up the peg just like with the collapsed shield, and then just peg that in like so, and then there you go, as simple as that. And that looks badass once you have him holding his shield there. Now for the chained swords of chaos here, the way you get these on, there's a tiny peg hole on the bottom of his wrist. All you do is just peg this piece in like so on the one side, and then do the same thing on the other side. Just find the peg hole and just peg this busted in like so, and there you go, as simple as that. And the way you get them to grip onto the blades is a very smart idea by Neca, and other toy companies do this as well. You can unpeg the handle from the blade, as you can see right there, and then just slide the handle through the gripping hand and then peg the blade back on, as simple as that. And then you can do it with the other blades as well, so it's very easy to get him to grip onto his blades. This one is stuck on mine. I just got to run it under some hot water, so we do get that awesome stuff. And then we finally get a total of 7 alternate hands. So we do get 4 for Kratos, and then we do get 3 for Atreus. And starting on the left, on the top, we'll start off with Atreus' hands. We do get a pair of gripping hands, and then we do get 1 left arrow holding hand. And his hands are very simple to swap out. It's just scary because he has such a small wrist peg, and you know Neca's joints tend to break easily. Then on the right for Kratos, on the top, we do get a pair of fists, and then we do get a pair of gripping hands. And these hands are very difficult to swap out. As I did mention before, the wrist peg on the left hand did break on me, so what I would suggest, highly suggest doing before you swap the hands, heat the hands up with hot water or blow dryer. And even when you put new weapons in the gripping hands, heat up the gripping hands before you put new weapons in as well, because they are made of a very hard plastic. But anyway, that is all the incredibly awesome accessories included with this set. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? Now for the height of the God of War and his son, boy, to the very top of Kratos' head, it looks like he's around 8 inches tall, which is very tall. Then to the top of Atreus' head, it looks like he's about 5.5 inches tall. And then here they are compared to the Neca original movie TMNT Donatello, the Predator Jungle Extraction Dutch Broken Tusk, and the AVP Ancient Warrior. And let me know in the comments below if Kratos is around 8 feet tall, because I feel like he is really tall in this figure form here. And then here they are compared to the Figma Twilight Princess, Link, the SH Figuarts, Wonder Woman, Thanos, and the Infinity War Hulk. And then here they are compared to the Storm Collectible Smoke, the SH Figuarts Sage Mode Naruto, the Mifex Justice League Batman, and the Figma Black Swordsman Guts. And then here they are compared to the SH Figuarts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku and the Mezco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, and we'll take a look at Atreus first, and he does have 2 joints at the neck. The upper neck joint is very tight on my figure here, so you can get him to look up about that much with that joint. Looks down just a tiny bit. You do get pivot there, and then the swivel is where my joint is really stuck. Look at that. I don't know if it's the lower neck or the upper neck. It just springs right back. I mean, you can move it, but it's just so tight. That's definitely not good. The lower neck goes forward and back a tiny bit, a little bit of pivot, and then it does swivel as well. Then we do get a waist joint here, and you don't really get too much movement out of it. As you see, just forward and back a tiny bit, not too much pivot. I mean, if you force it, you can kind of get a little more movement out of it. Then it does swivel. The arms here do go out to the sides, a little less than 90 degrees. You do get a bicep swivel. The arms do go up and down. We have double jointed elbows that bend in all the way. You can get them in a little more than that. And then we do have a tiny ball hinge on his wrist, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. And my hinge keeps separating, so I have to keep connecting it again there. Now the legs here, they will get hindered a little bit by this piece, but you can kind of work it and move the leg out a little further. So it goes out a little more than 45 degrees. Goes to the back almost 90 degrees. Let's see if you can Jean-Claude Van Damme it. And his legs definitely can go out that far. The left one is getting hindered a bit by this piece, but he can definitely Jean-Claude Van Damme it And then we do have the upper thigh swivel. We do have a single jointed knee that doesn't get 90 degrees, which is a bit disappointing. It does swivel there as well. Then the ankles. The ankles break easily. They do swivel. They hinge up just a tiny bit, down just a little bit, and you do get a little bit of an ankle pivot with this figure. Some pretty good ankle pivot, but that's not good. These joints should not be breaking so easily like that. Neca needs to really do something about that, so I'm going to have to contact them to ask them to send me a replacement leg now for Atreus here. That's a thing I'm worried about with his joints. They're so thin and fragile, and Neca is known for joints breaking easily. As you can see, that broke on me, and Kratos' wrist joint broke on me as well. So 2 broken joints, not good, Neca, but I know they'll definitely replacement. So that's Atreus's articulation. Now let's take a look at Kratos. And Kratos has some of the best Neca articulation that I have seen on any one of their figures, and I don't know why the hell they don't use this type of articulation on their Predator figures. So we do have a barbell type joint at the neck here, so you can get Kratos to look up a tiny bit, not too bad. Does look down pretty well, and then you do get very nice pivot there, as you can see, and then of course it does swivel. Then we do get a point of articulation at the waist here, so you can get Kratos to only go forward about that much. I'm pretty sure if you force it more, you can get a little more articulation out of it. It goes back a tiny bit, little bit of pivot, and then swivel. So their waist joints really aren't the best. And then the arms here, Kratos' arms can go out almost 90 degrees, which is definitely good. They do go up and down. As you can see, the armor on the right shoulder does hinder it a little bit, but it's not too bad, as you can see right there. Then we do get a bicep swivel. We do have double jointed elbows that bend in pretty much all the way. Then we do have a ball hinge on the wrist here, and be careful with yours. You don't want it to break, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. Now for the legs here, Kratos can kick forward almost 90 degrees, which is definitely good. Goes to the back about 45 degrees. It's getting hindered, the right leg, by the head right there. Then let's see if he can Jean-Claude Van Damme it. And Kratos definitely can. Awesome leg movement with this figure. Then we do have an upper thigh swivel. We do have double jointed knees that bend back all the way, so that is definitely good. Then the ankles here, these are the best ankle joints I've seen on a Neca figure, and I don't know why Predators don't have it. So we do have a swivel, and then it does hinge up about that much, hinges down that much, and then beautiful ankle pivot, a freaking 90-degree bend ankle pivot with a Neca figure. Then we do have a nice toe hinge. So overall, the articulation on these figures, Atreus, not the best, but Kratos has the best Neca articulation that I've seen on any one of their figures. And you're going to be able to get them in some pretty cool father-son-like poses. And I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the Neca God of War 2-pack Kratos and Atreus. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this set between a 1 through 10, I'd have to give it an even 7. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this set, you can check your local stores like Target or your local comic book shop, or you can check online at stores like Amazon. Agelessgeeks does not carry this in stock, but you can get your other figures and collectibles from Agelessgeeks.com, or I would recommend going through their Instagram or Facebook page. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. And if you liked it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, oh well, I guess you didn't like it. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. And then it does say Kratos and Atreus, God of War, Ultimate who damn it, to the very top of Atreus's haired but I mean the sculpting and paint look pretty good on the arrow right there. I mean the arrow. God damn you! I'll show you the knife and the sword. It's a damn axe, you bastard. Very simple to get on. All you do, doodly. As simple as that. Now for the actual field. God damn it. There we go. That's how you get the shield. I guess I didn't get it on all the way, you son of a beep.